Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. So, till the end of the first paragraph of 27th page, till the end of the first paragraph of the 27th page, it is Purva Paksha. Atra aha sarvametad akanda tandavitam onwards, right up to the end of the first paragraph of the next page is Purva Paksha. And there are so many arguments which are not necessary at all. But I can sum up. What the Purva Pakshi wants to prove is that this is not directly an appearance of Brahman. There is Brahman underlying all this, but the immediate material for this universe, is ignorance. What is the definition of ignorance? It's a material substance. In Sanskrit it is bhava rupam. Material, tangible, material substance. Subtle, material substance. This substance undergoes change and transforms and becomes the world, the body and the mind. So 1/3 of ignorance, that substance called tamoguna, becomes the objects. And the sattva-guna of ignorance becomes the senses and the mind, the knowledge. And the rajoguna of it also becomes the desires and the organs of action, etc. They have explanation. So the immediate material, register the terminology, the immediate material for the universe is ignorance. The ultimate material is Brahman. So there are two materials for this universe. The immediate material for these objects is ignorance. The substance, subtle substance called ignorance. This subtle substance called ignorance changes and becomes the grosser substance called the universe. This is a grosser substance. This is a manifest form of that substance, the manifest state of that ignorance. You see, the grossified form of that substance. And behind that substance is the hidden truth called Brahman. So Brahman is the fundamental truth, the fundamental material called Vivarta Upadana Karanam. The unchanging material behind the universe is Brahman. But the immediate material for the universe is the changing material called ignorance. Thus you have two materials for the universe. This is absolutely not acceptable at all. Every student of truth must understand that we don't experience. If the example is Shuktika Rajatam for the creation, if the example is Rajju Sarpa for the creation, Shuktika Rajatam is the example, but in those examples we don't see two materials at all. We see only one material, the fact. We don't experience two materials. We experience a rope-looking snake. We experience the shell-looking the silver. We don't experience that the ignorance about the rope or the ignorance about the shell transforming and standing there as the snake or the silver. In no Bhranti do we feel there is a change. There is no change, there is distortion, that's all. Change I can't handle, but distortion I can handle. Therefore man can help himself. Because we are saying the entire embodiment is distortion about your being. And therefore, this particular theory that ignorance is a substance, number one. Number two, the ignorance changes and becomes the world. This is not within experience. What is within experience is a reality. When I see it and don't recognize that it is such and such, I am called on to judge it. Pressure is put on me to judge it. Because it's just front of it is evident. I can't ignore. Maybe an object perhaps I can ignore, but I can't ignore myself. But I can't ignore myself. There are so many objects, I see them and I ignore them, I am indifferent to them. But I am aware of myself. And when I am evident to myself, when I am self-evident, I have to register as to what I am. My actuality I have to understand. Aram se sunna. I have to register myself. If I am unlimited and if I don't see it as such, then I would take it as limited. Self-error. I can't be indifferent to judging my actuality. In fact, I cannot be indifferent to judging myself. I have to. And I am living a judgment forever. This is called anadi adhyasa. I can't trace this judgment that I am the form to any particular time as we have been seeing. Because even time is a result of the entire past and future. time as such is the result of this judgment. I am the form. Therefore, what is within our experience is a wrong judgment about what is evident, either sense evident. Rope is a sense evident. I have to judge it. Maybe I can ignore that. The sense evident reality perhaps I can ignore, but the self evident I can't ignore. The sense evident objects I can ignore. I don't have to judge. Every person I see, I don't have to judge him. Every object I see, I don't have to just leave it. But sometimes even the sense evident objects, I find myself having judged. I find myself with the judgment, like this is snake. There was no time for me even to ignore. Errors don't allow me time to ignore, just happen. I see the shell and suddenly I conclude, oh, there is silver. Has happened. Supposing I have a lot of doubt, listen to it very carefully. Don't think it is all hair-splitting arguments. No, it's all a part of understanding the truth. It's all a part of understanding the truth. Supposing I have a doubt, is it shell or is it silver? Is it shell? Is it silver? Is it shell? Is it silver? I can ignore it. Chodo jo bhi ho. The objects, when I have a doubt, I can ignore it. But I have already judged it. I have to suffer it. Yes. No doubt this is a snake. Frightens me. No doubt this is silver, attracts me. No doubt this is snake, gives me fear. No doubt this is silver, attracts me. So once I have a doubt-free era, and I have no doubt, it is indeed Rajatam. I can't ignore it. Then it has already created like and dislike in me. If it has already created like and dislike in me, then I can't be indifferent to it. Then I am goaded by, pulled by my likes and dislikes. Maybe when it comes to the objects, perhaps we can ignore. But when it comes to the self, I can't ignore. I can't be indifferent to what I am. If I have a doubt, am I this, am I that? Even then, I can't be indifferent. In no situation can I be indifferent to myself until I see myself correct. The self-evident cannot be ignored. Therefore, the sense of embodiment is not some changed form of ignorant substance. It is in the form of a distortion about oneself. Change and distortion are two separate things. Every philosopher, every thinker must be very clear about these two terms. Transformation cannot be reversed, whereas distortion can be reversed. If a Vedanti doesn't seriously look at the difference between these two words, he cannot make any headway in Vedanta. He is useless. Absolutely useless. He must be very serious about these two words. I can't reverse the change, but I can reverse the distortion. Education cannot reverse the change. Education can reverse the distortion. I can't reverse an event. तो हो गया. I can't do anything about it. I can't reverse an action. It is already done. I can't reverse an event. It has already happened. I can't reverse a change. It has already happened. In fact, there is only one thing which can be reversed, and that is distortion. I can reverse a wrong judgment. This is what we call correction of bhranti. This is called badha. Badha means correct it. Even though it has been there forever, even though it has been there forever, it can be reversed. That is the only hope that man has. If my unhappiness were due to change somewhere, I can't do anything about it. If my depressions are due to some change, if my erratic nature were due to some change, I can't do anything about it. It's all because of not looking at oneself, the subject, whose existence is never in the realm of the objects. It is the existence of oneself, is in the direction of oneself, the subject. The entire oneself is in the direction of oneself, the subject. Not half of myself is sense object and the other half is non-sense object. No. The whole of me, the entirety of my existence is a non-sense object. Even though I look at the body and say, this is a part of me. Even though I look at my mind and say, this is a part of me. It looks as though I am partially in front of my eyes. I am partially in front of my own eyes and partially hidden from my eyes. It looks as though I am partially in front of my eyes. I am partially in front of my mind. I am partially empirical and partially hidden from my sight. That's not true. The entire existence of our being, the entire I, is non-sense object. And when I live with the idea that I am an object of my own sight, I have to suffer. Because as an object of my own sight, as an object of my sight, if I am an object of my sight, that I am insecure, because an object of my sight is insecure. All the entire samsara is only due to this reason, there are no other reasons. We don't look at ourselves very deeply. And looking at oneself involves no objectification. And looking at oneself involves no objectification, therefore involves no thought. Therefore it is synonymous with being. Looking at oneself is to be. Like the effort to fall asleep is just being. You see, you just be in order to be. You be in order to be. You don't think to be. That's never done. You don't think to be. That's a contradiction. You be to be. Reflection also is the so-called reflection to look at oneself is being, just seeing that I am not an object of thought, nor am I a thinker of thought. I am, it is, I am. That is all that is experienced. Whenever you say I am, actually what it is, just being. I am there, I am being, I am. It is presupposing that I am is the whole thinking. Therefore here Bhagavan says, Sir, the only hope that Jiva has is that his problem is not due to change. His problem is due to adhyasa, distortion. For how long? I say distortion is not about an object here, it is a distortion about the truth. I am the form is a distortion about myself, the truth. I am limited is a distorted vision about myself, the unlimited. I am a form is a distorted vision about myself, the formless. And I am an object. It's a distorted vision about oneself, the non-object, the subject, the aparoksham. And therefore, this particular Mula Vidyavadi's theory that the world is the transformed result of ignorance, it is an effect of change behind, is wrong. It's not an effect of change behind. It is a distorted perception. And for this the material is only one, Brahman. Brahman is the material. What is distorted is the material for distortion. The very reality that is distorted is the material for the distortion. The very rope which is distorted as snake is the material for the distortion. What about ignorance? Ignorance is not the material. Ignorance is the reason. It triggers distortion. It doesn't form distortion. It doesn't, not the material. Rope ununderstood looks snake. Clear? If we really accept the universe, our embodiment, our problems as the result of some change deep within, some change, if our problems are accepted as the results of change, you can't do much about it. If our problems are also due to the fact that we don't change, human beings don't change, that is why they suffer, etc. We have got all these club talks. Then also we can't solve our problem. Neither change nor the absence nor the lack of change is the reason for suffering. Neither the change nor lack of change. I say you can be relevantly changed for a while, not relevantly changed forever. Understand? You can relevantly change in the sense, today you change for a little while. You come to suddenly Vedanta class, a little bit of change, But sometimes you should not come, you should stay home and look after things. Then you require another change. If change is the answer, then you have to keep changing. You have to keep changing, ji. You have to keep adjusting. Therefore, neither some change deep within is the cause for our suffering, nor lack of change. I say it is lack of reflection. Yes. Lack of reflection, lack of understanding oneself. I don't want to say lack of change and all. People don't change, therefore they suffer. It's a club talk. Club talk is a distorted form of glib talk. You understand? It's a glib talk. Goody talk. It is neither change nor lack of change. Human beings don't look at themselves the truth. Thus, Mula Vidyavadi's theory is not only wrong, it is wrong not only because it's not evident, that theory is not evident. We don't see ignorance changing and becoming something. Not only that, if going by Mula Vidya's theory, moksha would be impossible. Moksha would be impossible. Why? Because if it is the result of ignorance, if it is a changed form of ignorance, I can't change, I can't reverse the change. Oh, you can destroy ignorance. If it is material, I can't destroy. I can correct illusions, but can't destroy substance. So there are so many problems, and therefore, up to the end of the first paragraph of 27th page, the essence of the discussion is that there is no evidence of ignorance transforming and becoming the world. Okay? Then what is the material for the world? The sole material for the world is Brahman. How can the Brahman, the unchanging Brahman, become this? It has not become this, it is seen this. The rope has not become snake. The rope is seen snake. The unlimited has not become limited. The unlimited is seen limited. The subject has not become the object. The subject is seen the object. There is no becoming. Brahman is seen. That is called adhyasa. Now, this is over. Forget about it. Now, concentrate on the next point. Just as we say ignorance doesn't change and become the world, ignorance is not a substance. Somebody may argue like this, sir, if the positive ignorance called some substance doesn't change and become the world, okay, then how can Brahman, the changeless, change and become the world? I have told you already, it has not changed, it looks the world. But if ignorance is not a positive substance, then what is the definition of ignorance? Absence of absence of recognition. We say it is lack of recognition. Absence of recognition. Jnana abhava. Say absence of knowledge means absence. How can the absence become the present world? How can the absence of knowledge transform and become the world? I say we don't say that the positive ignorance changes and becomes the world. Nor do we say the absence of knowledge changes and becomes the world. We only say due to absence of recognition, Brahman is seen as the world. There is no change. Neither the presence of ignorance changes, nor absence of knowledge changes, nor Brahman changes. There is no change of any kind. Are you able to follow? These three things you have to manage. This is not the result of the change on the part of the ignorance if you define it as something positive. This is also not the result of the change on the part of the absence of knowledge, if you define ignorance as absence of knowledge. Nor is it the transformed results of Brahman, because the Brahman doesn't transform. Therefore, there is no change behind perception. It is distortion. I see myself as an individual until I look at myself. And I see the universe also as a huge thing that is lying before me, also due to lack of self-reflection. Like when I transcend the body, I transcend the universe. It's a great clue. I transcend the thought of myself as the body. In sleep, I transcend the thought that I am the body. I transcend my own thinking that I am the form. When I transcend my own perception that I am the form, I also transcend the universe. That means when I correct my thinking about myself, I also correct thinking. When I discover I am not a dreamer, there is no dream also. When I wake up from the dream, when I discover that I am not a dreamer, I am a waker, then the dream also is gone. When I transcend my dreamer identity, I also transcend the dream. Therefore, Vedanta must be admired for the first reason that it doesn't present the problem. It doesn't look at the problem as some change or lack of change. Unhappiness is not the result of either change or lack of change. Unhappiness is the result of distortion, jhasa. Education can't reverse the change. Education also can't perpetuate the change. Education only illumines a reality. Education illumines a reality. Even if you tell a child, you must tell the truth, be truthful, etc. Educate him. Ultimately, when he has to tell the truth, he has to use his will. It's not education. Education can't bring about change. It is the will. Therefore, what does the education do? Education only illumines a reality. Do you know what is that reality? Even in social education, be truthful, that will make you happy. That is the reality. Honesty will slowly pave the way to your happiness. Truthfulness slowly paves the way to happiness. That is the reality. Education can illumine the reality. Similarly, Vedanta doesn't really inspire change in you, nor does it reverse any change that has happened. It neither reverses the past change nor inspires the future change. It just illumines a reality about you. You are not that societal individual You are the being of the universe. You see, as a conscious being, you are the being of the whole form. In this manner, the Vedantic education illumines the reality. Therefore, one has to admire this beautiful thing because it doesn't talk all these silly things. It tells you, sir, your problem is you don't look at yourself. You have been living a wrong judgment about yourself in every life. Every life is a perpetuation of the same adhyas, same wrong judgment. I am the form. And within this judgment, I am the form. No matter what you do, you are unhappy. You may be happy a little while, you may be happy, you may get some rich and this and that, but that is all within that. All happiness is within the realm of unhappiness. Yes. And or I can say all the so-called pleasures are within the realm of one's vulnerability to pain. No pleasure can help you transcend the vulnerability to pain. And therefore, Mula Vidya Vadi's theory is not only unevident, it is undesirable. That is the end. It is not only unevident, but it is also undesirable. It is undesirable. Why? Because you are explaining away everything as a result of change. Okay, this is over now. Forget about this. Now concentrate on another point. When we say absence of knowledge, don't look at it as an entity, an independent entity. Absence of knowledge is not an entity. It is a wrongly phrasing. It's a wrong language. What is there is a fact ununderstood, not absence of knowledge of a fact. It's not absence of knowledge. It's like saying, I have no son. You say, I am endowed with the absence of a child. I am endowed with the absence of a child. अच्छा लगता है? I have no child. I am without a child. That's it. I am without a child. Is a clearer statement than I am endowed with the absence of a child. There is no such a thing called absence of knowledge. There is only a reality ununderstood. Don't think in terms of absence of knowledge. Say there is a reality ununderstood. I am not endowed with absence of knowledge. I am there without understanding myself. Bas. Every time it is my presence without being understood. As a waking individual, I am the truth ununderstood. As the dreamer, I am the truth ununderstood. As a sleeper, I am the truth ununderstood. As the one who is reborn, I am the truth ununderstood. All the time, it is not absence of knowledge. What is all the time there is not absence of knowledge. All the time what is there is a reality ununderstood. Therefore the universe is an appearance of a reality ununderstood. Not the universe is an appearance of absence of knowledge. Are you able to follow? Neither it is the result of neither it is the transformed result of the absence of knowledge, nor is it the transformed result of the presence of ignorance, some substance. Then what is it? It is the appearance, it is the perception about. It is an appearance of or in a truth ununderstood. Like rope ununderstood is seen as snake. Bas, that is the example that is given. Sand, unseen, ununderstood as sand, or unrecognized as sand, looks mirage. An object ununderstood as not the answer looks the answer. Shobhanadhyasa. Children, ununderstood as not the answer, if they are not understood as not the answer, they think they are the answer. And by the time we understand they are not the answer, it is already too late. Which Karvination. You can't even come to the class by that time. That is why the only thing that makes up for all your failed desires is Vedanta. In fact, Vedanta makes up for your failure in every life. Or Vedanta makes up for repeated death in the past, because eternity makes up for endless death. Eternity makes up for endless number of deaths. It makes up for every misery I have gone through. Vedanta makes up, more than makes up for the misery that one goes through. Therefore, please understand. Neither do we say the presence of a positive ignorance becomes the world, or absence of it. So there is no such a thing called absence as a separate entity. There is a fact ununderstood. Now, without understanding this fact, that there is no such a thing called absence, there is only a fact ununderstood. Absence of knowledge aisa nahi hai. It is like saying, I have absence of knowledge of French. It is a wrong way of saying. It is a wrong. It is a confusing way of putting it. As I told you, instead of saying I have no child, you say I am endowed with the absence of child. Ba, 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 ba. This is all that you pick up after becoming a literature student. Literature, when you become an English literature student or any Sanskrit literature student, then you want to put everything in your literature, you see, in the high-flown language. So instead of saying, I don't have a child, so after completing your master's in English literature, then how do you say? I'm endowed with the absence of child. That's why a mother tells, I told you in the last class, a mother tells, बेटा तू पढ़ाई शुरू करने के पहले जो बोलते थे मुझे समझ में आता था, जब से तुम पढ़ाई शुरू किया आप जो भी बोलते कुछ समझ में नहीं आता. See? Simplicity also is lost. There is no absence of knowledge as a separate entity. There is a fact ununderstood. For example, French. Suppose you don't know French, please don't say, I have absence of knowledge about French. Wrong. There is only French ununderstood by me. There is French ununderstood by me. There is French. I know there is French, but ununderstood by me. I experience French. I know there is French, but ununderstood by me. In the same manner, I am aware, I am there, but ununderstood by me. Therefore, don't refer to absence of knowledge separately. Always refer to a reality understood, a reality ununderstood. Knowledge means truth, ununderstood. Anything. It is like I have the knowledge about the, let us say I have knowledge about the physics, supposing you say. I have knowledge about physics. You don't have knowledge about physics. There is physics understood by you. There is a physics understood by you. That's a much better way. There is physics understood by me. You can never have knowledge of physics cut off from physics. There is only physics understood. There is music understood by me. There is a world understood by me. And there is myself understood by me. There is truth understood by me or ununderstood by me. There is a rope ununderstood by me. If there is a rope ununderstood by me, then the same rope ununderstood by me looks snake. Therefore, who looks like snake? Is it presence of ignorance? Is it absence of knowledge? No. It is a reality. Don't even say reality minus knowledge. I don't like these plus and minus. There is a reality ununderstood. A truth unrecognized. It is an evident truth. It is right before me. It is evident, but not recognized. That is the adhyasa. I am right there, evident to myself. And therefore, we don't have to define absence, but people without understanding, some of the logicians, without understanding, there cannot be absence of knowledge by itself. There can only be a fact understood or ununderstood, not presence of knowledge or absence of knowledge. There can only be a reality understood or ununderstood. So without understanding this point, they try to define absence of knowledge. They treat absence of knowledge separately. Try to follow whatever I am saying. Then they say absence has to be defined. As though absence is a separate entity. Absence is not another entity. Then the logicians argue there are 4 kinds of absence. This I am talking for the satisfaction of your intellect, not that is really necessary to complete the 1 hour. Because और 10 मिनट है, उस 10 मिनट को पूरा करने के लिए, because one, it is more important to understand there is no such a thing called absence, rather than categorizing how many kinds of absence are there. See, absence cannot have variety. Absence can't have variety. What is the difference between, supposing one doesn't have children, okay? And what is the difference between the absence of one's first child and the absence of one's second child and absence of one's third child? What is the difference, Ji? Therefore, it is more important to know that there is no such a thing called absence, rather than finding out the kinds of absence. Why? Because there is no such a thing called absence. I will show you all this. But the logicians, they are more interested in splitting hairs and then, logically, logic. When you miss the evidence, you enter into speculation. You see, when you leave the evident, then you speculate about the unevident. Very important point in life. When you leave the evident source of happiness, then you are speculating about the unevident. Then I am struggling, then I am in the wilderness. In fact, wandering is the result of missing the evident. It's not search, it is losing the way. Life is not a search, Life is groping after losing the way. Dandramyamana paryanti muda antenaiva niyamana yathanta. It's losing the way. When I don't look at myself, I have lost the way. Even if you have got a lot of money, can't market one direction. Central market in another direction. M block in another direction. It doesn't mean anything. What we gloat on is a laughable. What we gloat on is just laughable. It's nothing. Beyond the roti, whatever you have, you can't enjoy. What is important is, life is not a great search. It's all meaningless. Life is groping in the dark after losing the way. Veda, that Chandogya Upanishad says, just as a person who is blindfolded and he is left in the middle of a forest, and then dacoits, bandits take him, tie him hand and foot and blindfold him and leave him in the middle of the forest. After a little while, he is crying, he has lost the way. He is crying. And then some saintly person, some good human being, some good Samaritan comes there and removes the blindfold, unties him and says, "Blessed, this is the way to your gandharaneva upasampadjeta evameva iha acharyavan purusho veda." That particular example. This is your Gandhara Desha way. Go. And he has to go by the way that somebody has taught. If he is indifferent to the information he has received, he will lose the way again. He carefully comes back. Similarly, Shastra shows the way. And if I am indifferent to the Shastra, I lose the way. That's all, that example. If I am indifferent to the Shastra, which shows me the way back to the truth, if I am indifferent to the Shastra, which shows me the way back to happiness, then I lose the way. And the whole life is what? Losing the way. Losing the way. Kuch nahi. It is not some meaningful search. It is a kuch nahi. Except looking at oneself, nothing is meaningful in life. Except looking at oneself. Nothing is meaningful. There is no meaningful. What is there? It is just repeating the same. Therefore, instead of trying to find out how many kinds of absence are there, it is better to understand there is no such a thing called absence. For example, I am going to explain it very elaborately. Listen. Don't allow yourself to be vexed or bored. It is always better to get bored with samsara, not with Shastra. Allow yourself to inspire yourself to be bored with samsara. It is better to be bored with this or that. Boredom is a sign of wisdom. Yes. Boredom with things. Yes, boredom. Even if you advise somebody, please don't feel bored. And a person, a thinking person definitely gets bored. What really absorbs you is the Shastra. Looking at yourself is silence. Coming back to yourself is noise. It's like lying down to fall asleep. It's nice, relaxing. As I told you, register it in your mind. Self-reflection is synonymous with being. Self is by nature being. Self-reflection also is being. Everything else is thinking. For example, the logicians, say that absence is 4 kinds. Number 1, praga bhava. Number 2, pradvamsa bhava. Number 3, anyonya abhava. Number 4, atyanta abhava. 4. I have memorized all of them. Yes. Praga bhava, pradvamsa bhava, anyonya abhava, atyanta abhava. It is easy. You can memorize all this. स्वामी जी जब अभाव है ही नहीं उसको कंठस्थ करके फायदा क्या हुआ? What is the use of doing कंठस्थ? Guru Nanak ji, there was a book, Guru Nanak. In that, first he went to school. So his teacher said, Ram ek hi satya hai. So then he gave homework, you have to do contest this. He says, ये सब contest करके फायदा क्या हुआ? जब राम ही सत्य है, राम का contest करो. He left the school ji. Guru Nanak left school on the same day. He saying, जब बाकी सब मिथ्या है, राम ही सत्य है, तो राम का contest करो, ये बाकी सब क्या करना हमको? वैसे ही है यहाँ पर अभाव ही नहीं है तो उसको कंठस्थ क्या करना? In fact, we have to understand the 4 kinds of, we have to memorize the 4 kinds of abhava to finally understand there is no abhava. Abba. This is called Ramana Kendra class. Memorize things to discover they are not there. Memorize things to discover that they are not there. It's called praga bhava, pradvamsa bhava, anyonya bhava, atyanta bhava. In the next class I will tell you how they are not there. Even though a lot of logicians accept it, a lot of acharyas accept it, I will tell you the secret. You can never have absence as a separate entity. It's all just. When you say my friend is not there, it is not that the absence of your friend is there. No. Absence of your friend is not there. The friend was. He is not has to be converted into was. Independent of your friend, think of the absence. Think of the absence of your friend without the memory of your friend. Think of the absence of your friend minus the memory of your friend. Can you? No. Ultimately, what is present? Only friend. Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva, Vasishyate, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you.